Yeah, what's up, Ryan?
Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else in the audience, welcome to the rest of your life. We are entering phase 2 of Looney Duels. Welcome to the Wily Coyote era.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, I wish you were joking.
So to give a little insight, the structure of Looney Duels is going to slightly change. Up until now, we were doing them in order of like what they were listed on HBO Max, and then like whatever qualified for like the episodes we were gonna do. But I did a little like I kind of took a look at the rest of the episodes we have, and I came to a realization: the sheer amount, and it's an insane amount, the sheer amount of Wile E. Coyote and Tweety Bird episodes left is astronomical.
There's like 60 of each.
and not only is there that many left in the latter half of Looney Tunes, like as we go on, there's some points where episode after episode is just those two, and that's it.
So we've decided we're going to start sprinkling in some of them a little earlier. Maybe so we can, I don't know, brace ourselves before the wall of I thought I saw a putty tat, comes and crushes us to death.
Before I have to listen to that freak once a week for the rest of my life.
we're gonna be seeing a lot of them. And I think the thing about Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner, we're gonna have to get real creative with those two. We're gonna have to get really, really creative.
Look, here's the thing. Legendary shorts, right? Legendary pieces of animation. But in terms of the podcast that we run, and like the structure of it, it's gonna be a mess talking about those two after a bit.
We really messed up. We really screwed up. We did not think this through. So without further ado, let's talk about Fast and Furry-ous, which is our first look into Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner's interesting dynamic, the want, the lust, the sexual tension that is Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner.
Is that what we're going with?
Yes, this is the angle I'm gonna start pushing with these two. So things to know, I guess, about our friends here. Everybody knows Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner, right?
Mm-hmm.
Iconic characters. One's a coyote, one's a little bird who runs real fast, goes beep beep. So, what do you do with these two? What do you do? The coyote, he wants to eat him, and this is very similar to Sylvester and Tweety's dynamic, except the thing about Sylvester and Tweety is they live in a house together, right? Most of the time, not always, but they're usually in the same environment, and it's usually like close quarters, and they're trying to navigate this this toxic household together.
Yeah, that's what we're calling it.
Yep, mm-hmm. And Coyote and Roadrunner are out in the desert, out in the wild. It's like stretches and stretches of land all the way around. Like, are hardly any signs of civilization. The coyote doesn't have any other options for food. He is so skinny.
Yeah, so I wanted to make a note. I wanted to go check real quick if this was their first short, and it is. In our first short, where Coyote appears, he is thin. He is boned. He has not eaten in years.
Yeah, this is a man who will do anything to get even a little bit of that Roadrunner. So what can you really blame him for all the action? Do you really think that Wile E. Coyote is the bad guy in this situation?
Here's the thing, this one. Like Coyote and Roadrunner, I don't think there's defined good guy or bad guy. This is just nature we're watching,
This is a Looney Tunes nature documentary.
You don't watch a documentary where the lion eats the zebra and go, the lion's the bad guy. You go, this is nature. And I think it's a bit ill-fitting to call Wile E. Coyote a villain in any way when he's just trying to get his meal. He's starving. He can't. Now there is the point to be made that with all his devices, he could probably just order a pizza. But
no, we were watching these shorts, and as per usual, Wile E. Coyote's thing is that he's continually ordering these contraptions, putting together devices, usually from the Acme Corporation. Like he like buys a pair of like rocket shoes, or he buys like a catapult or a cannon or a big magnet or something like that.
Right, of course.
And we were watching these, and my girlfriend, she goes, "Why doesn't he just order food?" And I never thought he just get a pizza?
For the sake of what we're doing right now, you're gonna need to ignore the fact that he could just order like some food in a grill or something with his wacky phone. Ignore that.
Maybe it's the thrill of the chase. Maybe he doesn't want easy food.
Right, it's kind of it's that lust thing,
Yeah, well, Wile E. Coyote is a man of pride, I think, above anything else.
Mm-hmm.
He gets smushed by Boulder. He runs into a wall after he's painted on it, and the Roadrunner has run through it like it's really there, and then he thinks he can run through it too, and then he runs into it and hits the wall really hard, and then he can't get through it. And he gets back up, and he does it again. Day in, day out. He doesn't give up. The Wile E. Coyote does not give up.
I think what we're kind of witnessing here with this first one is that this is kind of his origin story. Like, this is when we learn and see that this dude, like, got spited so hard by this, like, Roadrunner, he could not give up ever again. He had to get this fucking thing. I like to believe between all these shorts, he's just not eating. Like, he refuses to not eat anything else but this Roadrunner. He has to make this his next meal. He can't eat anything else. He doesn't drink water. That's why he's so bone thin. He's just not drinking water or eating food. Now,
the Roadrunner, on the other hand, you might think is like a neutral party, right? Like, he's just running along. He doesn't want to get eaten, so he's just kind of, getting away. I think the Roadrunner is a little bitch.
You think so?
I think the Roadrunner is absolutely playing with Wily in a way that is cruel and unusual. Like, he's not making japes and jokes. He is, like, teasing a starving animal with his body. He's putting his body on display, laying out there, saying, don't you want to eat me? You want to eat me so bad. And then Wile E. Coyote's like, yes I do, and clawing his way towards him, and then he runs away so fast.
Well, what would your solution be for the Roadrunner to, like, not get eaten? Like,
move
right
away.
But like I guess so, but like,
leave. He can run super fast. He's basically Sonic the Hedgehog, and he's just sticking around this one plateau with this poor coyote who's just trying to live his life.
Have we considered the Roadrunner might be a yandere? Right? Like, the fact that, like, Coyote wants, like, that he pisses Coyote off that bad, maybe that's, like, kind of a thrill for him. Like,
he loves that.
He loves it so bad.
The chance that he could get caught, and that he's just one step away from it.
Which makes him a yandere, of course. Like what I just said earlier.
Yeah. I would love to see some growth in their dynamic as we watch more of their shorts. I want to see the Roadrunner become more involved in it, become more of a Bugs Bunny, right? Like, I wonder if he's gonna have a shift into more of a Bugs Bunny role.
Okay, so you want him to, like, so you just said he was a bitch and you hated that, but you want him to become even more of a bitch.
Yeah. Oh no, I didn't say I hated it. I just think he is a bitch.
Okay.
He's a bitch and a slut, and
he is kind of a bitch and a slut. Yeah.
I don't. The thing is, sometimes in the Bugs Bunny shorts, there's moments where the other person kind of has an upper hand, or seemingly an upper hand, or, there's a slip and a fall, a punch thrown here and there. I don't think the Roadrunner has ever been touched.
No.
Emotionally, sexually, otherwise.
Well, that's why he has the thrill of the chase, is because he has never been touched in any of those ways. But, I'm sure there's probably some, like, gag. Maybe like Space Jam 2, he gets owned, but, like, that's it. Yeah,
there's no touching him, which I guess is something. Roadrunner, for our purposes, is a very powerful Looney Tunes character, seemingly undefeated so far. He totally whips Wile E. Coyote's ass.
Not even close. That guy gets fucked.
He whips his ass. He, doesn't even get a scratch on him. Doesn't fall for a single trick. It bends reality to his will. And just kind of smiles the whole time. No touching him. Wily, on the other hand, we've discovered very tenacious, very a hard-working guy. He's not. Stuff does not come easy to Mr. Wile E. Coyote, but he just marches on, like, to the beat of his own drum. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's kind of metaphorical in a way, right? Wily Coyote is the lower middle working class.
Oh, God,
Like
okay.
the type of character the everyman can relate to. And then Roadrunner is the fat cats on top who's
Okay.
like our suffering makes him amuse, right?
Right, exactly. Well, we'll have more to talk about these guys, I guess. We'll figure out something.
We're talking about hairdo.
Hairdo. I really liked this short. We're getting back to our roots.
Yeah, it's Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd again. At the start of the short, Elmer Fudd literally needs a rabbit detector now.
Wabbit
Make
sector.
note of that. Yeah, wabbit detector. He needs a huge cartoon device to even find Bugs Bunny now. I like to imagine Bugs has stopped showing up to like mess with him. He's just gotten so tired of Elmer, and now Elmer has to come to him. And Bugs like, fuck this guy. It's just old news to him. He's tired of this. And of course, Elmer has not gained any intelligence through any of these shorts. He's still stupid as shit.
Well,
So he finds. Oh, go on. Go on. I'll hear your point.
Okay. When he finds Bugs Bunny, Bugs does a little trick on him and runs and grabs like a cab, and says something along the lines of, "You have to wake up pretty early to get mess with me." And then the cab driver turns around and it's Elmer Fudd, and he says something like, "I woke up at 5:30." And Bugs like gasps, like he's genuinely surprised to see him there.
Okay, so maybe old Elmer's picked up a few things along the way. We know he can drive a car now.
Yeah, he can
I'm pretty
drive.
sure he said that before, but he's got a nice car though. He's got a nice car.
Yeah.
So they run into a public theater. That Elmer Fudd, with zero responsibility, brings his gun into the theater, mind you.
It was different time, right? It was different times. It was cool to do that back in the day.
Add public menace to Elmer Fudd's
Damn it.
like stats.
Bugs is like hiding amongst all the audience members. He's putting on disguises as an old lady. Elmer keeps getting thrown out because, of course, he does. He gets like a few moments. I think he kind of gets it. He's finally starting to kind of play on Bugs's level. And then he just crashes and burns. He's just no helping him.
I think the point where it all goes downhill for Elmer is the part where Bugs keeps switching it from like audience intermission to like show being live, right? Like when that happens, it's just all downhill. Elmer Fudd never recovers. He just gets fucked up more and more. To the point where the final confrontation in the short is Bugs Bunny feeding Elmer Fudd to a lion.
Yeah, Elmer is dead again, maybe. Who knows how many lives that guy has. He blindfolds Elmer and makes him part of the show and puts him on a unicycle on a tightrope going right into a lion's mouth. And there's no, like, Elmer doesn't even kind of realize what's happening because he thinks he's about to watch the show and he just can't see anything because it's really dark. And then even when he's in the lion, he doesn't really realize he's being digested. It's kind of horrifying.
I think the thing we've learned about Elmer for this short is he tries so hard. We're learning he's getting better at trying. Like he puts his 100% in, but the problem is he's just not gotten any smarter. I think he's still falling. He is still falling for a bunch of basic tricks. He's still like Bugs Bunny just owns this guy like any second of the week. Like he's trying, he's just not thinking.
Do you think Bugs meant for him to get eaten by the lion?
Oh yeah, I mean, of course, I no doubt.
I mean, he set up the trap, yes, but do you think Bugs thought that Elmer maybe would have wizened up about halfway down that tightrope, maybe pulled the blindfold off and got just a little scared, just a little amusing scare out of him? Maybe he thought...
I think if that was going to happen, Bugs didn't intend for him to get eaten by a lion. As Elmer was going down, he would have been like, "Oh God, Doc, what are you doing?"
He would have said something about it, probably.
You're gonna die. No, he wanted him to get eaten by that lion.
I don't know. I wonder if Bugs has a little bit of a heart in him for Elmer. A little bit of a soft spot.
Maybe he knew Elmer would be okay after he got eaten by that lion, and that's why he did it.
Elmer just climbs out. There's no scratch on him. Because that's how that's the way the short ends. We really don't know what happens afterwards. Presumably Elmer gets digested and is gone forever. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
But
This is truly the first and only time Elmer Fudd has been in an awful situation like this out of a cartoon and never came back.
yeah, honestly.
All right, so writing your notes down, everyone at home. Elmer Fudd is trying really hard, but he is still just too dumb to do anything.
Poor Elmer. I'm really rooting for you, bud. You've had a win before, but that was against Daffy Duck, so you know.
Yeah, that was like eons ago now.
You gotta get it together. Now, speaking of Daffy, we have the next short, which is Daffy Duck Hunt, and let me just prepare you for the 3 characters that are gonna be in it. Okay.
Yeah.
So we got Daffy. All right, pretty standard. Then we got Porky Pig, which all right. Yeah, Daffy and Porky, they go off against each other all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Barnyard Dog. It's also
from
in
Foghorn's world.
Yeah, Foghorn's frenemy, Barnyard Dog, is Porky Pig's Looney Tunes dog in this cartoon, and it's not even like one that looks a little bit like him. It's him. There's no way it's not him.
This one's kind of a unique setup because Barnyard Dog just wants to look good for Porky. I don't think he actually cares that much about like Daffy getting like murdered. He just wants to like kind of look nice for his master so he doesn't get, and I quote, beat. And I thought that was like a joke about how Porky is pathetic and would never do that at first. Like, Porky Pig is meek, he's weak. He would never like beat up his dog. And then they get home and Daffy starts making a ruckus and flings himself into Barnyard Dog's mouth. And after that, Porky Pig, meek little pathetic Porky Pig, starts beating the shit out of Barnyard Dog.
Like twice. He does it twice.
Let's teach you to steal ducks. There. Now don't let it happen again.
He just starts wailing on him, and I was like aghast. My jaw was on the floor. There's a moment where Porky's like rushing towards the camera, and he's like, you didn't learn your lesson that time." Like he's gonna
literally the scariest scene in Looney Tunes history, I think.
Didn't learn your lesson, huh? Well, we'll try again.
This shows that secret anger to Porky Pig. If he has power over you, he's gonna abuse it. Porky's kind of fucked up.
I think what makes it scary to me is Barnyard Dog, as we've seen in other shorts, is not a slouch. He doesn't take things lying down. If Foghorn did something like this to him, Barnyard Dog would murder him. I think the fact that Barnyard Dog appears to be fearful of Porky kind of implies something about Porky we don't know.
And it kind of elevates Porky's status. Like, maybe he isn't so pathetic and meek. Maybe he's just on a hair trigger at all times, waiting to, be set off.
Yeah, I think we need to keep an eye out for this fucking pig. I'm kind of scared of him now.
Daffy is, as gay as ever in the short.
Yeah, that's the thing you need to take in this short. He's just doing the gay band kid shtick still.
He's got costumes and songs and stories. He loves to tell his stories. Barnyard Dog, though, I think his fear of Porky and maybe his loyalty to Porky might say something about his character. Like, Barnyard Dog, we've only really seen him, like, out in the field, in his doghouse, hanging out with the other animals. But maybe this shows us that Barnyard Dog, like, respects, like, quote, man, like, whatever his master is, he actually respects them, and he, like, kind of, considers himself on a, more submissive to him. He does what he's told. He doesn't want to disappoint Porky. He really, like, he's a good dog. He's a really good dog.
Maybe that's it. Maybe Porky's not scary. He just wants the love and respect of a human, quote unquote, being.
Yeah, exactly. Now, my second question here is, does Porky own Foghorn and, like, the ranch? Is that the implication here?
Did we ever see a farmer in any of the Foghorn shorts?
Off the top of my head, I don't think so.
Okay. I think that's canon then. I think Porky is the farmer. I think it kind of makes sense for him to be,
Yeah, I could see him, but the thing is, the house that he goes into with Barnyard Dog, it's a gorgeous house. Once again, Porky is proven to be a very rich homeowner, as he always is in these shorts. It's this beautiful, like, little house, like, 2-story house, And I don't think, I think it's like in a neighborhood. I don't think it's in like rural field. Maybe he works on the farm like part-time or something.
Maybe.
And like he takes his dog there and his like dog kind of lives there half the time.
He brings his dog there so he can get beat up by some gay chicken. Oh, you know, basically we had to discuss with the short. Religious barnyard dog implications.
Oh yeah, I wrote praying under barnyard dog.
If that duck's gone this time.
As he thinks he's about to get killed by Porky Pig's wrath, he starts praying to a higher god.
Yeah, so this is the second Looney Tune we kind of know is like kind of like on the side of God next to like Elmer Fudd, right?
Right.
That's gonna be interesting.
Well, you know what they say, all dogs go to heaven, so I think barnyard dog's okay.
Yeah, I guess the question I was gonna ask is, would being religious make them more scared or less scared of death?
Huh. Now there's the question.
Right, yeah?
That's... Huh. Well, I guess if Barnyard Dog knew he was going to heaven, he wouldn't be that scared of it. Like death, right? I think he's not scared of dying. I think he's scared of just being beaten up or disappointing Porky, right? He just starts praying because he's like, listen, if I die here, fine, I got my, ducks in a row, but please like, make it quick.
Okay, that's fair. It would hurt to die still.
Yeah, it's definitely still hurt to die. So it's kind of one of those just like, come on, if I'm going, I'm going. Let's go.
So, I think we need to talk about the ending of this one because Roadrunner won that first short. Bugs obviously won that second short. Who won this one?
Oh yeah, so the way it ends is that they pull Daffy out and Porky is going to kill him. Like, he has an axe out. He's manhandling Daffy. He's kind of vicious. And Daffy has stuck on one of those stickers on him that says, don't open until Christmas. And so they can't cut him open. And they kind of like, it's like, I guess we'll, figure it out. And then it fades to black or Iris is out or whatever. I really don't think anybody won here because Daffy's stuck there, isn't he?
I think your victory depends on if you think Daffy Duck could find a way out of this situation by December. That's the question, really, because he kind of got away with everything he was able to do in this short because Porky wasn't around. But the second Porky came around, it was over. The only reason he survived was because he can't be open till Christmas.
That's right, because Barnyard Dog and him are the majority of the short. They're the ones going back and forth, with Porky kind of coming in as like, oh, you guys are doing a ruckus down there. I'm going to beat the shit out of my dog. Then he would go away for a bit. Then when Porky enters the ring, he dominates. He starts like grabbing Daffy and like pinning him down, and he's going to fucking kill him. I think if Porky has to be on his A game for Daffy not to get away. He has to put him in that freezer and close it, because Daffy couldn't get out of the freezer by himself.
Mm-hmm.
So if he just put him in that freezer, then Porky and Barnyard Dog win.
Yeah, I guess as long as Daffy... I'm going to give this one to Porky.
Yeah, you know honestly, what? I'm going to too.
I think Porky, as long as he's smart enough to put Daffy back in the fridge, Daffy will freeze to death and he will win.
Yeah, take that, Daffy Duck. I hope you freeze to death. Porky needs a win. Yeah, I'm cool with that. All right, congratulations, Porky.
All right, here's our final fucking short. This is Battled Putty Tat. It stars Tweety Bird. Yay!
Tweety Bird and Sylvester short. This one, there's some questions I have. This one raised a lot of questions for me. So the premise of this is, as always, Sylvester trying to eat Tweety. Tweety's in this birdhouse that's so tall. It's so tall birdhouse. And Sylvester's doing his usual antics. And at one point, he tries to do a lustful trick on Tweety. He paints his finger like a girl bird. And Tweety Bird is like, ooh, and like goes over to like make out with it. And I was aghast. I thought Tweety Bird was a baby.
Yeah, so this isn't like the Goofy Gopher situation where like he dressed that thing up like a woman and they went like, oh, hello. And they like, we kind of learn immediately they know it's fake and they're just fucking with him. Tweety Bird, with full intent, was going to fuck the finger.
Yeah, he was. He absolutely was.
And I don't know. Tweety Bird, I guess, never registered in my mind as a lustful creature, right?
Yeah. No. No. I don't think I'd like to think that way about Tweety Bird.
No, never once in my life. I thought Tweety Bird fucks and sex.
Tweety Bird wears this stupid fucking hat in this short. He's got a little, like, sailor boy hat in this short, so he looks even more like a baby. And he's, like, you know, making wolf whistle sounds at this girl bird that Sylvester painted on his finger. And I hate Tweety Bird.
Yeah, you know, we got like 40,000 more shorts of this little freak. Interesting thing about this one is Sylvester doesn't speak in it ever, I think.
No, he doesn't, really. It's mostly Tweety Bird. I don't think Sylvester says a word.
He starts speaking in the later ones, doesn't he? I'm like not misremembering that. Like, no, he talks.
He talks. Sylvester has talked before. He's talked in other shorts before this one, too. He's just not talking in this one. He's got nothing to fucking say for himself.
I guess he's just got nothing to say here, to be fair. Yeah.
Now, here's some things you need to know about what Sylvester is willing to do to get Tweety Bird. At one point, Tweety Bird is mistaken for a shuttlecock. Some people are playing badminton. And he gets, you know, he's getting tossed back and forth, hit back and forth. Sylvester knocks a human being out cold, like a random guy, steals his clothes, and takes his place on the court so that he can, you know, grab Tweety Bird while he's flying through the air. Sylvester will attack a human. That is kind of scary to think about.
Sylvester has violence in his heart. We can't act like he's some, like, just innocent cat wanting to get, like, a meal, like we kind of were with Wily Coyote. Sylvester is dangerous and scary, and we need to be afraid of him. Yes,
and Sylvester needs to learn to chew his food. Because he almost wins in this one.
Yeah, so that's going to be an important thing to keep note of. If he swallows Tweety Bird, it means nothing. He needs to chew.
He swallows Tweety Bird in this one, and Tweety Bird takes over his body, like, Inside Out style, and tries to, you know, turns him into a choo-choo train, and then crashes him into a wall. Because Sylvester doesn't fucking chew his food, he just eats it whole.
Tweety Bird becomes a parasite that can control Sylvester the cat.
Exactly, which is another one of his abilities, I guess. Add that one to Tweety, he can control Sylvester from the inside.
Right. At the very end of the short, we also learn something horrific about Tweety Bird. He has apparently done this before to other cats.
Yeah, he makes some offhand comment, like, what does he say? Something like, oh, that's how I crashed the last one or something?
Yeah. He says he's, like, lost cats. He says, I think, I've lost them like this before.
So maybe this isn't even original Sylvester. Maybe this is just another cat.
Maybe every version of Sylvester we see is a different one because Tweety keeps killing them.
So Tweety feels no remorse for this at all.
Right.
I mean, to be fair, Sylvester is trying to kill and eat him. So maybe it's okay that Tweety Bird in turn kills them. But still.
Yes.
There's a lot of implications there.
I guess, you know, if Tweety Bird was somebody lovable, like Bugs Bunny or Daffy Duck, and he was doing this, I would understand. But since it's Tweety Bird and I hate that little freak, I don't feel any sympathy, and I wish Sylvester ate him and chewed. And chewed. I'm putting emphasis on and chewed.
Chewed really hard, just tore him to bits. I like the line that Tweety says, where he says, I will have to flee for my widow wife. It made me want to smash him with a hammer.
Tweety Bird is so, like, crushable, I think. Like, he is a Looney Tune I want to smash with a hammer the most. I just gotta say it.
Well, there we go. Tweety one.
All right, yeah, a little freak one. We got a few YouTube comments here.
Woohoo!
All right, from MSF. If you had to pick 5 Looney Tunes to protect you from every other Looney Tune, which 5 would be the optimal pick? I'm also gonna veto Bugs Bunny because that's too easy.
To protect me?
Yeah. So here's the hard question. What Looney Tune would you trust would stay like on your side, right? Like,
because you can pick... I was gonna think Henry Hawk, but when you said that, Henry Chicken Hawk could be convinced that I'm a chicken.
Very easily, yes.
Very easily, and that would be very dangerous for me.
Marvin the Martian has a laser gun, but he's also evil. Will probably betray you at any second. Elmer Fudd probably, if he was tasked with this, would like stick to it, but he's also a stupid idiot dumbass.
I'm gonna pick 3. That's an easier number for me. I think I'm
Okay.
gonna pick Barnyard Dog as 1. He's loyal. He's a dog character. He's pretty strong.
Yeah.
He could probably, take a punch or 2. I'm also going to pick. I'm gonna pick Roadrunner.
All right.
I think Roadrunner could get me out of a situation if I needed to be out of a situation. And then, just to round the team out a little bit, I'm going to pick the Goofy Gophers. Because they can do, like, recon for me. And if they they can get into little places. Like, what if I need a little guy? They would be my little guys.
I'm gonna pick also the Goofy Gophers for like my first pick. I just think they make sense. They seem like they'd be loyal if they had to do it. I'm gonna pick Wily Coyote as my second. I think he can take a hit, and he doesn't seem like a villain character, so he probably wouldn't betray me.
Yeah, he'd help out.
For my third pick, you know me. Leopold the dog.
Oh, Leopold!
Come on. Leopold's on my team.
Oh, Leopold, our dearest Leopold.
Who do you think the biggest threat would be, like, not counting Bugs Bunny again, like, as all the Looney Tunes try to kill you in this scenario?
Oh, I think Gossamer would be kind of scary.
Mm-hmm.
Gossamer's pretty scary. He's big. I think Marvin is scary because he's got a lot of weaponry. A lot of options. He could just blow up the whole planet. That kind of
I think it'd be scary. If one of the Looney Tunes tried to kill you, lean down to Chenry Chicken Hawk and go, "Hey, you see that girl over there? That's a chicken."
That would be so scary. I would cry.
And then he just starts walking towards you.
Yeah, that little confident strut he has.
All right. Here's a kind of a long comment from Noel, real quick, about the stretchy arm discussion. I want to, give
okay,
your
let
thoughts.
me hear it.
In regards to the stretchy arm discussion, I believe the Toon World is bathed in some sort of passive Toon radiation that grants Toon powers, but slowly wears off without direct exposure to it. Bugs and Daffy, as denizens of the Toon World, are highly irritated, and as such, can maintain their powers for an extended period of time in the real world. Michael Jordan's time in the Toon World was comparatively short, and his Toon powers likely dissipated pretty fast when he returned home. I reckon he kept them for a few handful of hours at most.
Okay, so it's like it infects into you and then slowly drains out over time.
Right, yeah.
I kind of like that. I'm
into it.
Yeah, that's a good
I'm
one.
into it, honestly. So, we're going to have to make dangerous notes of, like, a scary bounty hunter character ever visits the Toon World and leaves to our human world again.
Oh, God, yeah.
But I'll die. I hope you all enjoyed another exciting episode.
Whoa. The comment I want to talk about.
Oh, you got one?
Yeah, I have a comment.
Yeah, okay.
This is from an older episode, but I wanted to talk about it really badly.
Okay.
So this is from Flurp Prulf. This is from Flurp Proof. We're always talking about the strengths and weaknesses of characters, but what do you think is the most powerful location? And now let me hit you with this.
Okay.
I think the most powerful location is a Looney Tunes house, which is essentially like an M.C. Escher painting of just so many stairs and corridors and doors and rooms. Much like you'll have a house that's like Porky Pig's house, and he lives alone, and he has about 20 bedrooms and like 2 bathrooms and like 7 stairs, and there's so much that can happen in a house. So many dangers, so many gags, holes in the walls, different kinds of doors and windows. I think that there's nothing that beats a Looney Tunes house.
I think you might be. I think the more there is to break in a place, the more powerful the location is. The house is probably up there. I think like a city is pretty powerful, right? Like if you're like in a city, there's like lots of windows to break, lots of like rails to grind on, lots of like chimneys to get stuck in. Yeah, like there's tons of just potential. I think desert is kind of weak. That's maybe my hot take. There's just not much you can do in a desert.
I think even forest is kind of weak.
You think so?
There's only so much you can do with trees.
Okay.
Trees and rocks.
There's like rivers and cliffs.
Yeah, but...
Alright, that's fair, that's fair.
But yeah, I think a Looney Tunes house is a very scary place to be. I wouldn't want to be in one.
Alright, well, I think that's all, folks. Before we go, you could subscribe on Patreon right at the start cast, link to the description to get these episodes 2 days early.
Woo! Yeah, we're gonna start releasing them on the Patreon on the regular Friday, but they'll be coming to YouTube on Sunday.
Yep.
Sunday.
All right. Until next time.
See ya. Bye-bye.
That's all, folks.